We are group 3, and we are going to talk about our listening experience together that we did last Thursday.
Last Thursday, yeah.
So, yeah.
The first question is, what did you learn during this exercise? So, I think we all pretty much learned that it's important to share and listen to each other and relate to each other.
There are also others, like small things that we read in articles and then we also executed in our experience, such as eye contact, body movement, and asking constructive questions. And I think that really helped us to bond as a group and also understanding each other more better and this topic as well. Second question, what feelings or emotions came up as you wrote this through each role?
I think for me at least, it was interesting to jump between each, and I found that like if I was the facts listener, I would sometimes want to like be the emotional listener because I found that more enticing and more interesting.
Right.
Like, just looking at the facts.
Yeah.
But kind of just going back to the first question and like incorporating it with this one, we really got to know each other in a different way compared to like in a classroom setting. I think it just being us 4, like, and even having like the rigid rules of the exercise was really effective, at least I believe. And I left with like so much knowledge and like advice from all of you, which was so cool, and like our first time actually talking really.
Yeah.
So I appreciated that.
I agree.
I feel like this exercise helps us to learn like how to connect to other people's feeling and their stories, like how the way they tell their stories and the way we actively listen to their stories helps us like connect to them more emotionally. And yeah, that's it.
So what role do you think was the easiest or hardest for you?
Yeah, I think the hardest one would be like the interviewer, because you have to like think of think of questions to like ask the speaker, and then how to like carry on the conversation. And I think the easiest one would be like maybe feeling or fact listener, because they just record, they don't have to like worry about how their conversation goes.
Yeah, maybe. I think for me, all 4 have like they're each like specialist part. So then for me, I think definitely interviewing is hard because you are the one that's asking constructive questions to be the active listener in all the articles. To like, you have to listen, you have to like think about what to like open up the speaker more. And then for the for your speaker, what I'm saying, facts listener, is harder to just pick up the facts because feelings and facts are always like going together. So there's like things in each role, and then I think it's really cool to like experience each one, and then like grow from like experiencing.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely struggled a little bit more with interviewer than the others because it was hard coming up with questions for sure. Yeah, I do think like all of them do play an important role, but
I like how you said like if you were fact listening, like sometimes your role would like intertwine with another one, and then you had to like really focus on just writing down the facts, which I think is so difficult because like anyway, like in all of our conversations, we always want to like pinpoint everything. So
yeah.
agree.
And next questions.
What did you learn about your active listening skills during this process? I pretty much learned that that like body language plays an important role, and so is making eye contact. My active listening skills, I feel like I could definitely do better as an interviewer, asking more questions. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I tend to be a little bit more quiet and just observe than actually give the advice. So that's probably something I need to work on.
Yeah. I think for me overall is to just know active listening leads in like the result of active listening is leads into like a better result, like how the better outcome through like for the listener and for the speaker. So if the speaker had this like one issue or something that they're navigating through, the listener would have been like a good helper to not just listen but also give advice. So that's something I didn't know, because for you, what you said about just stay quiet and then for them to like say what they want to say, and then you just be emotional support. So
Right.
I think that's like kind of changed for me, because like giving advice and being emotional support are both like important for active listening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And
Those are all of the questions. Is there anything else?
yeah, I think that's it.
Let's just double check.
I think like also going off what you were saying
Mhm.
about like it really changes the conversation.
Yeah.
And like I feel like that was a conversation I had with like students that I rarely ever have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like through a class assignment, which is quite interesting
Yeah.
to say the least.
Yeah.
I don't know, and like I was writing about this in my reflection, and I don't know if you guys feel the same way.
Mm-hmm.
But like wearing a face mask and coming back in person, like sometimes a lot of the articles spoke about like eye contact and like body contact, and I feel like we're almost a bit timid, or at least I am a bit timid sometimes doing that, like since being back in person, just because I'm so used to looking at someone on like my 6-inch laptop
Yeah,
screen.
yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, I
totally.
do
understand
that
that.
or yeah.
Yeah, because like the body contact, you don't really see the body
Mhm.
contact or like anything through the screen. You
Mhm.
probably just see their face. You don't even know what they're wearing.
Exactly.
It's like intimidating, but
Mhm.
also like different from like
Exactly.
the screen experience. Yeah.
Yeah. I also like that the assignment was smaller groups instead of big groups, because I feel like it makes you more engaged in active listening.
I
Mhm.
agree.
So yeah, like in bigger groups like class, I feel like it's easier to get distracted.
Yeah.
and- whereas like in a small group, it's kind of easier to stay
Right.
focused
Yeah.
and be more understanding and like make those relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think masks like play like a big effort in active listening?
I feel like it does.
Yeah.
I feel like yeah, it can be a little bit of a distraction, or like easy to, you know, kind of overlook things because you're like, oh, I can't really see
Yeah,
that way.
Yeah.
I agree.
We also learned from each other during
Mhm.
like the experience, not from the active listening part,
Yeah.
from like the sharing part. Because I
Yeah.
remember Lindsay talked about dealing with stress, and then we were like, yeah, that's like a really good advice for
Mhm.
us. Yeah.
Agreed.
Overall, good experience.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank
Jude.
you.
Thank you.